As the forest sector changes and as the push for sustainability grows, it's absolutely essential to include the unique perspectives of women across research, business, as well as in the vital roles they play in the bioeconomy globally. To discuss this, I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by West Africa's first female forester and director of the UN Forum on Forests Secretariat, Juliette Biao. Well, first of all, Juliette, thank you ever so much indeed for joining us today. It's a great pleasure to meet you, so thank you.
It's really a great honor and privilege, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity.
You're such a successful person, and when we're talking about forestry and we're talking about sustainable development, what unique perspective do you think women bring to that?
I will answer your question at two different levels. The first level is related to women professionals and politicians in the field of forestry, and the second level is related to women who are down there struggling to protect forests for their livelihood and the future generation. Regarding the first level, I like to really share my personal experience. My first job as the first female forester in West Africa and team leader 34 years ago has introduced a major change in the formerly gender-biased field of forestry, not only in my home country, Benin, but in West Africa. Until then, issues to do with forests were taboo, and forests considered sacred areas that were not to be violated by women. Additionally, I took up my position at the moment where the shift from coercive to participatory approach of managing forests was becoming effective, although there were some recurrent conflicts between forest department and the local community. Alongside of all this, I had to manage a predominantly male team of workers. Against this background, my major responsibility included demonstrating an effective leadership at both managerial and technical levels, creating a climate of mutual understanding and a bond of trust within the organizational team and with the stakeholders. And finally, helping to change mentalities that denigrate women's dignity and thereby advancing their right. Believe me, it was not easy. It took a great deal of humility and self-confidence to earn trust. So the lesson that I learned from this experience at the field level is that what a man can do, a woman is able to do. And sustainable forest management is not just about planting trees. It's no longer timber-oriented. Sustainable forest management offers so many opportunities with all these challenges we are facing today in the forestry sector. I only see promising prospects for the future for engagement of women in forestry sector.
That's a really interesting answer, thank you. And let's keep with that point. So how do you see the role of women evolving?
From increased climate change, deforestation, land degradation, worsening fire seasons, epidemics of forests, pests and diseases. All this really offer great opportunity for women to step in. The problem with engaging with women in forestry, it has to start from their education. Women are not keen to study science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. As a matter of fact, the 2019 UNESCO Institute report revealed that less than 30% of researchers, of scientists in the world are women. This is where we need to work.
So when we look at the forestry sector as a whole, what do you think some of the major challenges it faces are, and how do you think we should be addressing those?
Forestry sector is one of the sectors where data are lacking just because of the informality and the seasonality of forests. For example, impact of deforestation, dispossession, land degradation from a gender perspective. Now we're talking about bioeconomy. It's important to see how we can engage women in bioeconomy. I think it's a matter of social justice and equity. These women have specific knowledge, whether we talk about professional female foresters or women at the local communities, they have specific knowledge, and being also more dependent on forests, it makes them key contributor to forest conservation and regeneration. So it's a matter of social justice.
I think it's such an interesting point that you raise about social justice. And we're talking about gender equality.
Yep.
So how important do you think fostering gender equality is when we're trying to attain the Sustainable Development Goals?
Equality of women and men in the forestry sector can contribute to sustainable forest management, social protection of families, national and community economies. It can also help to create food secure environment. We also know that equal access to education for men and women, for boys and girls, can also help to break down the stereotypes that they are facing in forestry sector. And finally, gender equality can also help to reduce gender-based violence and discrimination. I'll give you an example. You go to DRC now, in the region of Kivu, because of deforestation, women have to walk to go farther and farther to fetch firewood, and they are really where they face physical assaults. And so everything is related.
My final question is, we're expecting 4,000, 5,000 people here this week at IUFRO 24. What would your message be in general to the audience at the conference, but also what would your message be to some of the younger women who are listening to you?
I will really kindly request for more collaboration, sharing of experience for us to make this Congress a real success. The success for this Congress, to me, is really coming out with a clear roadmap for us to be able to take really urgent, ambitious, transformative, and bold actions to meet the deadline of 2030 for global forest goals and sustainable development goals. To the young professionals, you are the future managers. You are the future facilitators of the future needs in society. This is your wonderful opportunity. Seize this opportunity. For the professional women, I just want to assure you, there is no glass ceiling for women in forestry. There are a wide range of opportunities. Don't limit yourself. As rightly said by Eleanor Roosevelt, no one can feel inferior without his or her consent. End of quote. Do not feel inferior to men.
Perfect. Thank you ever so much indeed for joining us. It's been a real honor to meet you, so thank you.
It's a pleasure.